Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the LA Rams and going over the best and worst case scenario for them in the upcoming 2021 season. But before getting to that topic, just a quick question for those of you viewing. Where do you have the Rams finishing next year? You think they'll bring home the Super Bowl trophy, a Super Bowl loss, a NFC Championship appearance, wild card round exit, wherever you've got them finishing next year? Comment down below and to kind of hear my answer throughout. To me, the best case scenario for the Rams, and this is of course pending any major injuries, pending any major trades that would affect the Rams. This is already going to be considering the Cam Akers loss. But again, if Matt Stafford tears his ACL or something, obviously don't use this video for reference. But best case scenario for me for the Rams would probably be a Super Bowl win. That sounds like, the cliche answer for a lot of teams. Well, obviously the best case scenario for anyone would be a Super Bowl win. Yeah, but a team like the Texans, Lions, Eagles, Jets, best case scenario for them is probably like 8 wins. That would be just phenomenal for them. But the Rams, a Super Bowl contender, the best case scenario could seriously be them bringing home the Lombardi Trophy. Getting Matt Stafford, having a pretty deep receiving core, Van Jefferson, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Tutu Atwell, Tyler Higbee, Deshaun Jackson, innovative mastermind, and Sean McVay. It's a good offense. The backfield, I do have my question marks about them losing Cam Akers, but I still think their Super Bowl window is open. Did it become more challenging this year? Yes, but it's still possible to win it all? Yes. Defense, we know how good that is. Even outside of Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, there's some good talent around them. Darius Williams, Jordan Fuller, Leonard Floyd. It's a great roster. I could see them, best case scenario, getting a Super Bowl win, going 14-3, winning the NFC, the number 1 seed. I don't want to say walking through the playoffs, but maybe they get lucky and the Bucs get bounced early, and in the second round they get to play a disgruntled Packers or a division rival Cardinals in the divisional round, or just something along those lines to where it's a team they can manage. You're not playing the reigning champs Bucs or something like that. And then of course in the Super Bowl, whoever they're playing on the AFC side, Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Browns, Titans, Colts, whoever it is, clearly, best case scenario, they win it out. And best case scenario is that the Matt Stafford trade proved that it was worth it. It is worth giving up first-round picks for Jalen Ramsey, for Matt Stafford. Because at the end of the day, in their best case scenario, if they get that Super Bowl ring, no one's going to look back and care what they gave up for Matt Stafford. They could have given up 16 first-round draft picks. If they won the Super Bowl ring, it will always be worth it. That's the most invaluable thing in the NFL and across all sports. It's winning that championship, bringing home that title, bringing home that trophy. That's the best case scenario for the Rams. Winning the Super Bowl, 14-3, winning the NFC, proving that they were right, taking the risk, being aggressive. I'm not a Rams fan, but if it's an any given Sunday, I'm a big fan of Matt Stafford, and I'll probably be rooting for him as long as they're not playing against my team. Looking at the worst case scenario, though, worst case scenario, again, being realistic, not Matthew Stafford tearing his ACL. That's the worst case scenario, obviously. But being realistic, I think the worst case scenario is they go 10-7, 11-6. I could see them having some growing pains early on. New system. They got a tough schedule. Week 1's against the Bears. Yeah, you might be playing Andy Dalton or a rookie Justin Fields, but that's still a top 10 defense. You're in the toughest division of football between the Seahawks, Niners, and Cardinals each twice a year. You play the AFC South. Colts and Titans aren't anything to make fun of. You play the NFC North, Packers, Vikings, Bears week 1. The Ravens are your 17th game. You'll have to play the Bucs. It's a tough schedule, 10-7, 11-6 doesn't sound pretty, but when you got that type of schedule, that's almost a freaking accomplishment at that point. Again, that's worst case scenario. I think they go 10-7, 11-6. There's going to be some growing pains. They have a tough schedule. There could be some mishaps that they lose in, some, teeth clenchers that really they might have won if they just had more experience and chemistry. But just having that new QB, losing a Cam Akers, it could affect them in the regular season. That doesn't mean I don't think they will do this, but I'm just saying worst case scenario, I see them going 10-7 in a wild card round exit. Again, this is worst case scenario. I still think in the worst possible outcome, as long as this roster's healthy, they are still a playoff team. That doesn't mean maybe not a good playoff team, but still a playoff team. I think they could still come out of the division, maybe not a winner, but as a wild card, as right now, I feel like the major team that's guaranteed to make the playoffs are the Bucs, and I would say the Rams. Green Bay, they're just a little disgruntled with Rodgers. Seahawks, as much as I like DK, I don't know if I believe in the roster around him. Niners, I like them. What about Jimmy G? I feel like the Rams or Bucs are the 2 for sure teams that I bet would go to the playoffs in the NFC. If I had to bet money on two teams that will make it, it would be those two. Worst case scenario or not, I do think the Rams will make the playoffs. Just the best case scenario would really determine how far they go in the playoffs. Again, best case scenario, probably Super Bowl win the NFC, get the first round bye. Worst case scenario, maybe fall in the division to second or third. The Niners or Seahawks grab it. You're in a wild card round, and you got to unfortunately play a Bucs in the first round or a Niners at home in the first round. Or maybe if Aaron Rodgers did click with Green Bay in the first round, you got to go all the way to Lambeau Field. That's worst case scenario. They still make the playoffs, so it would be a wild card round exit. We'll just have to see how it turns out. Again, they got the roster. They got the star power at the top. Jalen, Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Matt Stafford. But they got some depth behind them too. Darius Williams, Leonard Floyd, Tutu Atwell is going to be a rookie. Tyler Higbee, Deshaun Jackson, Van Jefferson. And again, there are going to be some question marks. There are going to be some growing pains. Worst case scenario, best case scenario. This team is going to lose football games. You lose games in the NFL. We haven't seen a team go undefeated since the Dolphins in the 1970s. It doesn't happen. Best case scenario, they're still going to lose some football games. It's still going to be a tough transition early on. But we've seen a quarterback go to a brand new team and win a Super Bowl IV. Hence last year, Tom Brady. Might be an outlier case when we're talking about the GOAT. But I do think we'll see a realistic case scenario that's right in between, where I think they will maybe not have 14 wins, but they probably won't have as low as many as 10, maybe 12, 13. And then once you're in the playoffs, I don't see them leaving the wild card round, but we'll just have to see which route they take. Best case scenario, worst case scenario, or somewhere in the middle. You guys tell me your thoughts though. Do you agree or disagree with my best and worst case scenarios? And referring back to question today, comment down below where you got the Rams finishing in 2021. As always, and of course, I truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you for watching, guys. 2 Minute Warning.